Yeah, baby. It's made it to a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. Oh yeah, this is not one of the good ones. It is a little bit nasty. So, g'day, I'm Paul. I am so excited for this car. It is new to the Australian market. It has been out for a while though. It's called the Renault Duster. It's finally on sale here and at pricing that is going to make this a really cool competitor to stuff like the Suzuki Jimny. So Duster kicks off at just under $32,000 before your on-road costs, but they are doing like a drive-away offer for the base model. This one here is the top spec. It's called the Techno. It's the 4x2. There is a 4x4 as well that I'll run you through a little bit later on. Now, today we're going to do a detailed review on this car. If you do want to skip ahead to other parts of this, you can use the time codes that are on the screen, or if you're on YouTube, you can scroll down and use the chapters below. We're going to drive the 4x2 and also the 4x4, so there's going to be just a little bit to cover here in this video. Now, let's talk about styling first. This kind of takes the approach of building on the base of stuff like the Clio, which this shares a platform with, but it sits higher, you've got more ground clearance. Even the 4x2 version here has a decent amount of ground clearance at around 170 mil. 4x4 jacks it up to over 200 mil. So there are some sort of key differences there. But on the styling front, this looks nothing like the siblings that it shares its platform with. So big Renault lettering down the front there, got LED headlights, some really cool colors to pick from as well. And just a lot of these sort of rugged looking materials down the front there, fog lights down the bottom as well. But if you have a look at this side guard here, that recycled material that they're using has different colors within it. So instead of it just being a black and a bit unruly material, this actually looks really cool. And still a decent looking set of wheels here as well. Machined finish on the outside there, and then piano black on the inside. And this is sitting on a set of 18-inch alloy wheels for the top spec 4x2. And then you can actually see that recycled logo there as well. Offset color here for the wing mirrors with the indicator built into there. We've got roof rails here, no glass roof or anything like that. Privacy glass on the back there with a door handle built into the top section. And then come around to the back with me. More of that material finish along there with that rugged material down the bottom, Duster lettering just there, Renault logo in the center there, and an enormous aerial up the top there as well. So let me know what you reckon about the design in the comments section below. This car has scored a poor safety rating over in Europe, so I'll be curious to see what happens in Australia if they do test this. So that could be one thing that kind of sways people away from it, but we'll see how that goes. Jimny was the same. It didn't really score a very good safety rating. So let me know if that's an issue for you in the comments section below. Righto, so we are inside the Duster. This is what the key looks like. You've got unlock, lock, ambient, boot, and the Renault logo. I hate these keys. They are so annoying because they don't really fit anywhere. And anyway, it's proximity sensing, so you can leave that in your pocket, and then you've got a push button start just down here. So this is a rugged car, which is why the interior screams cheap in parts. You've got sort of very scratchy surfaces around the place. But you know, I guess it's that rugged look they've gone for, and it's good that they back it up with, you know, big infotainment screen, big screen ahead of the driver there. So it is offset by the fact you're getting modern technology. It doesn't feel too cheap and nasty. And then you got to remember the price. This thing is so cheap for what you're getting, and this is kind of what you would expect for that price band. In terms of the actual touch points though, this is sort of soft in the center there, softish on the door as well. So it's all sort of not too bad. We're at the launch of this car, which means that we're not going to be able to do extensive testing today. We haven't driven it out on the road either. So we're going to get the car back to do some proper driving and proper testing a little bit later on, but today will be a bit of a condensed look at this, and then yeah, we'll do a bit more driving down the track. And what about your door slam? So this is what it sounds like. Now let's chat infotainment. Your screen's just over 10 inches in size. Very basic and straightforward, but equally very easy to use. So it has these quadrants, radio, phone, date, and then like an eco thing. You can then also access some of the additional features through here. But yeah, outside of that, it's pretty straightforward. And I love the fact that, yes, it has no knobs for volume and stuff. You can control it here on the steering wheel. You do actually have buttons right up the top there. A little bit tricky to see, but that's where you can go up and down if you need to. And then you can also switch the screen off or put it into a minimal display mode as well, so it's not as distracting. So yeah, nice little setup. No inbuilt satellite navigation, but you do have smartphone mirroring. This is what Apple CarPlay looks like. This is wireless, nice and quick as well. No lag, very easy to use. And I'll show you what Android Auto looks like. It's a nice big display there. Very good. big tick on the infotainment front. I like that. Head of the driver, you have another smaller display there. Sort of nothing too crazy. There's not a huge amount of configuration. It doesn't take up the entire screen either. It's only 7 inches in size. Should also mention as well, AM, FM, DAB digital radio with 6 speakers. And have a look at this. So phone mount, but this is actually on it's called a U-clip. So they have a stack of these around the cabin, and basically it's like a proprietary clip that you can buy accessories for. And then when you get your accessories, they all just sort of clip on and hold on in place there. So, yeah. On the parking front, you've got front and rear parking sensors and a 360 camera. I'm going to flick the car on so you can see what that looks like. Pop that into reverse. Wow, quality of that is appallingly bad. It's like someone's taken a clear lens and just smeared oil all over it. Then you've got these different views. I mean, that is so bad. Yeah. Anyway, I just don't know how in this day and age you can't have cameras that are better than that. That is really, really not very good. And that's what the horn sounds like. Now, practicality, we're going to start off with connectivity. You've got 2 USB-C ports, a 12-volt outlet, wireless phone charger down here, little storage nook up the top there. Sort of storage bits all over the place. Pretty small center console there, not the end of the world. And glove box, another one of these weird ones where it's a big glove box and then just half the space is taken up by like a fuse box or something in that corner. What else have we got here? That's about it in terms of storage. No sunglasses holder either. Do like the roof though. I just noticed that. It's like a charcoal coloured roof, which is something a little bit different. In terms of your comfort, you've got dual zone automatic climate control. Steering adjustment is tilt and reach. Manual seat adjustment for both the driver and front passenger. In terms of reach test, stuff is really easy to reach while you're driving. The seat material is interesting too. It's sort of, I don't actually know what that is. It's like a wetsuit material, top and bottom. So yeah, different design. Okay, so second row, what is it like? It's pretty cramped. So knee room, not amazing. Toe room's good. Headroom is good. Look, it's not terrible. Like I've got my seat pretty far back and you know, it is just compromised in terms of space here. You've got air vents here, 2 USB-C ports. You've got another one of these U-clips, and this is just like an example accessory that can go onto there. It's like a cup holder. It's a little bit flimsy, but it also has little U-clip accessories on the side as well. So you could like build cup holders, you know, 20 cup holders off to the side there if you wanted, I guess. Mat pockets here, no center armrest, but you do get ISOFIX on the outboard plus top tether as well. More of that sort of scratchy plastic. We'll see what it's like in terms of our window. Does it go all the way down? So it's auto up and down. Oh, so close. Now let's talk cargo space. So what I like here is that given the car is so high, you can actually, it's a good loading height to get stuff in and out. So you've got just over 350 litres to work with here. You can see these are the hooks that are sort of riddled throughout the cabin here. It just allows you to attach things. So you've got a little light there. You've got a 12-volt outlet over here as well. You've got some hard wearing floor mats, and then under here as well, you've got some storage there too, which is pretty good. So I'll show you what it looks like with the bag in there. So it is there. Fits a medium-sized suitcase, which is good. And then if you do want to expand the space, it does expand to just under 1,500 litres as well, just to give you a bit more load space if you need bigger items in there. Okay, so we've hit the road in the Duster. We're starting off in the 4x2. What we're then going to do is jump into the 4x4 concept car with the KO3s, which I can't wait. We're going to drive that off-road as well, so that's going to be good fun. But this on-road section will just be the 4x2. Now, it's interesting, despite them being pretty much the same body, the 4x2 and the 4x4 have different engines. So the 4x2 has a 1.3 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine. It makes 113 kilowatts of power and 270 Newton meters of torque. So not a huge amount, and it's made it to a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. Never been a fan of Renault's dual clutch transmissions, and if we come to a stop here, I'll just have a little look at what this feels like. Oh yeah, this is not one of the good ones. It is a little bit nasty. So they're just very elastic. There's nothing, everything. They're very hard to get precise, and I don't know, just not very pleasant. So the good news is if you go to the 4x4, it's available with a manual, only a manual, but yeah, you're kind of stuck with the auto here for the 4x2. Now, being a front-wheel drive, this is actually pretty compact in terms of its weight. The entry level comes with a torsion beam rear. It only weighs around 1,400 kilos, so really not a huge amount of weight. So when you do step on it, even with the sort of laggy dual clutch here, it sort of just gets up and moves fairly well, even with me and Sean, who claims he's 75 kilos in the back there. It actually sort of moves along okay. So you're not going to feel like this needs more oomph. And when you drive something like a Suzuki Jimny, I mean, that thing is so slow, especially in 5-door trim, that you just never feel like you're going anywhere. So this is a huge step up from that in terms of the performance behind the wheel. Now, Renault claims combined fuel economy of under 7 litres per 100 Ks. We haven't bothered measuring it today because the car was here and is part of a launch program. So it's only being driven here at sort of faster acceleration and all that sort of stuff. So it's not going to be an accurate figure. So, but that figure is pretty reasonable. It's not amazing given the weight of the car, but it also isn't terrible. 4x4 on the other hand uses a 1.2 litre turbocharged 3-cylinder petrol engine, and that uses a mild hybrid setup. So it's got just under 100 kilowatts of power, but 230 newton meters of torque, and 6-speed manual only, all-wheel drive system, and weighs slightly more as well. So you're looking at just under 100 kilos more, but importantly, fuel economy is better at under 6 litres per 100 K. So you are getting a benefit there from having the smaller engine with mild hybrid. Not as punchy and more weight, but it sort of bridges the gap there by being just that little bit more efficient. Now, not that you'll ever be towing, but if you do want to, both vehicles come with a 1,500 kilo brake towing capacity. Now let's talk about the ride. Again, we've only driven this inside the proving ground, haven't driven it in and around the city. The ride does feel firm to me, so this being on 18s, it's not exactly the smoothest ride in the world. It feels like they've gone for a bit of firmness to give it a sportier feel, despite its sort of slight off-road connotations, even here in the 4x2. It's not the end of the world. It's probably just ever so slightly too much on the firm side. The other test we do as well is the sine waves. We do this at 130 k's an hour, which is maximum speed limit in Australia. It gives us a good idea of what body control's like. Okay, there's 130. Given this is on the firmer side, it should actually perform well over these. Look at that, fantastic. Gets over that really nicely. Yeah, very good, quite impressed with that. Okay, it is bouncy road time. We do this at 90 k's an hour to see what it's like across a shocking road. Yeah, it does feel firmer through here. It's not the end of the world, but it is on the firmer side. We've got our condensed sine wave coming up here. We'll see how it performs across this. Oh yeah, it's very floaty across that. Yeah, so what's happening there is because the suspension is firmer, it's riding along the top of those sine waves instead of falling into them. So yeah, not the end of the world, but just something to take note of. Now, there are no sort of drive modes here outside of Eco, but let's go for a lap around the track. We'll see what this feels like. We test all cars back to back in the same way just to get a vibe check for what they're like, closer to their limits. Okay. You know, it picks up and moves okay. Brake pedal feels good. Into our first corner here. A little bit of body roll. Traction controls, very bitey there as well. But once you sort of lean it into the turns here, it actually holds on okay. And it's, again, if I compare it to the Jimny, which this kind of relates to in some way, it feels far sportier. And it's got good underpinnings for that as well when you consider that beneath the skin here, you've got a lot of those faster Renault products. Yeah, look, steering is a little bit numb, but it gets up and moves okay. It's actually surprising how quickly it's getting along here. And it doesn't feel like it's overly detrimental as a front wheel drive. It sort of hooks up really nicely and then just gets up and moves. So if you do ever want to go for a sportier drive in your Duster, it can achieve that too. Okay, time to do a little bit of performance testing. I'm going to switch off traction control. It turns on automatically again at like 60 k's an hour, and you can't really build up boost here with the brake pedal because it's a bit funny as a dual clutch. So I'm just going to try stand on it and just see how it goes. So here we go. We'll go all the way through to 120 as well. This doesn't feel too bad off the line. All right, 60, 80, 100, and 120. All right, let's see how that went. Didn't feel too bad. I mean, it's not a supercar, but we'll see what the numbers say. So 0 to 100 in 9.18 seconds and 80 to 120 in 6.26. So yeah, it's okay. Front wheel drive car, little. It's about to be expected. Okay, time to do a stop from 100 k's an hour. See what the brake and tyre package is like. All right, here we go. All right, doesn't actually feel too bad. Let's see how that went. Okay, so that is a stopping distance of just under 40 metres, which is actually pretty impressive. Anything between 35 and 40 is a decent number to be aiming for. Okay, how fast does it go in reverse? Here we go. All right, 34 kilometres an hour. Okay, it's time to do some light off-roading in this absolute beast of a car. So this is a concept car that they've built for the Australian market. It's got BF Goodrich KO3 tyres, so similar to what you find on a Ranger Raptor, but the newer generation of that for the Australian market. It's naturally lifted, the 4x4 compared to the 4x2, and this has some aftermarket equipment on the roof as well, which just gives this a really killer vibe. So we're going to run it here on our light off-road course. Before we do that, though, I want to run you through the specs. So this doesn't have low range. It does have a four-wheel drive lock, which basically apportions 50% of torque to the front axle, 50% to the rear. And then you've also got some drive modes here as well to pick from. But in terms of the actual numbers, ground clearance comes in at over 200 millimeters. Approach angle is up to 31 degrees and departure angle at over 30 degrees, which is mega for a small vehicle like this. So it should actually be pretty capable off-road. It is only available with a manual transmission, so it's going to require some not stalling from me, so we'll see how that goes. But we're going to kick off with our traction control test first to see how this goes when we kick a wheel up in the air, and I don't think that will take a great deal of work to do. So we'll get the driver's side rear off the ground first. There it is, just there. All right, roll onto the throttle, see how well traction control works. Look at that, nice. Basically did everything it needed to do. I didn't even have to engage any of these four-wheel drive modes. It's so cool. I just still can't believe what this looks like. It's unreal. All right, we're gonna go back over that in the opposite direction. We'll see how it goes just, again, without putting this four-wheel drive lock on. I feel like this car is gonna be a bit of a mountain goat, so let's see what it's like on the return path. This is often a little trickier, but given the short wheelbase here, it may not actually be that much of a hard job for it, but we'll see what happens. Buried on that. All right, let's try putting this into its four-wheel drive lock. There it is, just needed a little bit more work. This thing is so much fun. I absolutely love it. Unreal. Look at that. All right, let's go to the next obstacle, our hill. You know, I wasn't actually going to run this on our full drive course here because I thought this is stuff that we do in big dual cab utes and stuff. It's probably not appropriate for this, but you know what? Let's give it a shot anyway and see what happens. So normally in the dual cabs, I do this twice. Once driving up normally and then once coming to a stop. So we'll see how it goes, but basically it's just constant throttle, and given that this is a manual in high range as well, it could be a little bit tricky, but we'll see what happens. All right, we'll line that up. Okay, here we go. First doesn't feel like it's geared enough to get us up here. Go, go, go. No, it's not liking that. Yeah, first is a really tall gear. There's no option here for me to go into a low range, so if I just walk it up, it's just going to stall. So yeah, first is way too tall. I have to basically keep dipping into the clutch to try and get it to move there. I will try one of the other drive modes and see how that goes. So here we've got mud, sand, snow. Let's try mud, sand, see if that does anything. Yeah, first is way too tall. Okay, so I don't normally do this, but I've got permission from the owner of the car to actually just send it up there to see if it'll make it. So this could end very well or very badly for everyone involved. So hold on. Yeah, baby. See, I told you I was determined to get up there. It just needed a bit more pace. This thing is so much fun. All right, let's send it through our little mud bog here. Now, it does have a hill descent control, so we'll give that a crack. Just come over the edge here. All right, here we go. There we go, that's pretty straightforward. Nice and easy. You do need a hill descent control in a car like this with only high range and a fairly tall first gear. Okie dokie, rock time. So it should get over here without too many dramas. It's got adequate clearance, so we'll see what this feels like. Yeah, nice. You know what, these KO3s really help the ride as well. While the standard car is on sort of fairly road-oriented tyres, these KO3s really help smooth it out, and especially over rocky terrain like this, it just makes it not sort of as bouncy. This really is quite good fun. There we go. Job done. There you go. So the Renault Duster, what do we reckon? This thing is fun, and that's pretty much what the Jimny is. It is just fun in a little package, and this really does tick all of those boxes for a fun vehicle in this off-road trim. It's not overly expensive to buy. You can go smash it around the place. It's fun here with the manual as well. It is disappointing there isn't an auto available. Hopefully Renault is actually working on that because that would completely change the game. But as an alternative to something like a Jimny, this just gives you a more civilized experience with some of those off-road thrills as well. Yes, it probably won't go as far as a Jimny, but you can still send it up some pretty gnarly terrain that you otherwise wouldn't consider doing because, you know, it's a small SUV. So anyway, let me know what you reckon in the comments section below. I'll be interested to see where the safety stuff lands, but whether it's in 4x4 or 4x2 trim, this is a great little car, and the fact that you can get it with these accessories I think is really cool as well. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like it and you share it with your mates, and we will do a proper longer form review of this down the track as well. But until next time, take it easy.